Why KP is going to be traded. Lock it in. Rick Carlisle, when they said what's the right running mate look like for Luka Doncic?
Didn't sound anything like KP, did it?
Right. He said gritty defender, I believe were the words. And he said, and able to do something with the ball. And he used the words off the bounce.
Off the bounce.
Okay. I go to Kevin
Rugged
O'Connor.
was the word he used.
Rugged. Rugged defender, able to do something off the bounce. Well, KP's not a rugged
He's
defender.
like the Marlboro man. He's not rugged. No.
Yeah, we can move past that.
Yeah.
But what about, quote, off the bounce, right?
Uh-oh.
Kevin O'Connor from The Ringer.
About to give us a stat.
I am. Kevin O'Connor did a whole video on this, but the stat is all that matters. So Kristaps Porzingis, after dribbling more than twice in his 2 years in Dallas.
Is a turnover?
If he dribbles more than twice, he shot 31.5% from the field.
Yikes.
Now, 240 players have 100 or more shots in this scenario in the last 2 years. They've dribbled at least twice or more than twice, and they're going to shoot. KP shot 31.5%. Out of 240 players in the league, where does he rank?
There's got to be a handful worse at least. Let's go 190th.
Okay, good guess.
I'm going to go with 212.
How about 240?
What?
How about dead last in the entire NBA?
Ouch.
So Rick Carlisle says the ideal guy to pair with Luka is rugged defender and able to do something off the bounce. KP is not a rugged defender, and he's literally the worst player in the NBA.
You think Rick knew that?
Off the bounce.
You think Rick knew that when he said that?
Yeah, because
you think he knew that stat?
Because off the bounce isn't a term that I hear a ton
That's
in the
the first
NBA.
time I've heard it.
And I've never heard Rick say it.
Yeah.
So Rick was telling us it needs to be somebody who is literally the opposite person of Kristaps Porzingis. That's what we're looking for.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're an amazing detective today.
You find me the guy who is the anti-him, and that's what we need, is what Rick Carlisle is telling you.
Columbo. Yeah.
Dead last.
Yeah.
No one worse. That's incredible.
Wow.
I use my 2 dribbles to get in rhythm, and that's when I start hitting.
I thought you were going to say 2 dribbles and a turnover.
Well, I'm sure if they had
hold
turnover
the ball
stats.
low, let the guy knock it out of your hand kind of thing.
There were plenty of those KP turnover highlights in Kevin O'Connor's video. I watched that as well.
Yeah.
It
Did
was
you watch the video?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't watched it. I just saw the stat. I was like, I guess I need to watch the video, and he's going to tell me even more reasons why KP doesn't work here.
We live that.
He gave you a couple of more. In his final season with the Knicks, when Porzingis was patrolling the paint defensively, he held that shooter 13% below his average in the paint.
Oh, so he was a good post defender.
Yeah, he was, and he's actually still slightly better than average, which was fascinating. But last year it dipped to 11%, and then this year it fell to 3%. So from 13 to 11 last year. Hey, look at this. Porzingis still patrolling the paint and holding shooters 11% lower than their average in the paint shooting percentage for the year, but it fell to 3% this year. So significantly worse, like 70% worse, 80% worse.
Mobility, lack of maybe.
I think the challenge, though, isn't going to be to trade him. It's going to be to find a way to find that guy Rick's talking about while still having Porzingis so he could go be your 3rd or 4th best player.
And maybe that's what KP's talking about in his exit interview when he was talking about, I'm excited to go in an offseason healthy where I can work on evolving my game. Perhaps evolving my game means finding the ability to dribble without someone taking the ball from me and finding the ability to dribble and then shoot a basketball without missing all the time.
And finding the weight room would be another thing, too.
You remember the offseason when he was posting pictures and we were talking about how ripped KP was looking?
Yeah.
Like, man, he looks huge. And then you start playing basketball and it's like, no, he looked huge when he was by himself. When he's out here with these people, he doesn't look so
He was
sturdy.
cut. He was just cut at that time. He had been having a good diet and doing high reps, I think. But, yeah, O'Connor pointed out the overall scoring efficiency on the court is really good, but he can't score off the dribble, isn't a good passer, and is hurt a lot. And he said it's the biggest dilemma in the NBA this offseason is what the Mavericks and Porzingis do to try to make this a win for everybody involved.
And I think that's the difference when I'm watching these other playoff games. Like when you watch Jazz Clippers, and look, I think it's
pretty clear, isn't it?
To me, it's just further evidence of how stupid good Luka Doncic is.
Yeah.
Because when I'm watching the Jazz and the ball moves from, you could even include Gobert. It goes from Donovan Mitchell to Royce O'Neal, and then he cuts in, and then he finds Bogdanovich. Like, all of their good players are, it's going to sound stupid, are good at basketball. dribbling,
all the skills,
shooting, passing,
play on both ends of the court,
coordinated feet.
With the Mavericks, if you like, you're not going to see a lot of scenarios where the ball is moving between Dodo, Timmy, KP, and it's like, now I'm cutting, and here's a good pass that hits him in the pocket, and then it's going to move. Like, they can kind of go, I like the term I heard Reggie use today, like they could go around the horn when it's a natural, like we know where the defense is rotating, here, shoot. But when you're just watching an offense flow and you watch Phoenix, and it's Chris Paul and Bridges and Booker and whoever, like it's a lot of dudes that are skilled basketball players. With the Mavericks, you have a skilled basketball player. And you have a bunch of dudes that can shoot. And it's
Brunson's skilled, but he's
skilled.
He's too small, you know.
But the thing about it is, you talk about all those passes and stuff like that, though. It's so clear when you watch what happens to the Mavs when they get down the last 4 seconds of the shot clock, and then it turns into panic. It turns into, we got to find Luka, and now it's, the chance for turnover there.
Because all those other teams, they're doing it naturally. They're so good at it. It's instinctual and it's flowing and it's art. And that's what Rick Carlisle's offense is supposed to look like. Like there's supposed to be a lot of ball movement and moving pieces, and some of the players are complaining about it, but Rick doesn't have the players to make the ball move and have it be efficient still.
But isn't that kind of back-ass words from the way that they've built it? Like, it seems like their emphasis was like Dorian Finney-Smith, perfect fit. Maxi Kleba, perfect fit. Like all these different guys that aren't necessarily skilled NBA players. It's like, we just want 3-and-D. That's what we want around them. Well, like, holy cow. So your plan is for Luka to do everything. And then when the season ends, when you lose a playoff series, you talk about how Luka needs to let teammates do more. You intentionally surrounded him with guys who can't do more. And then you want him to let them do more. That doesn't work.
No, I think they got painted into a corner when they acquired Porzingis, because he's one of those guys that doesn't pass or dribble well. And then you look around and the rest of your team is built to basically play defense and shoot. So it's why I think this entire lineup needs to be detonated. The roster needs to be blown up and completely remade.
But we don't understand why Luka wasn't letting his teammates create for each other and sharing the ball, because, man, it would be incredible to watch KP and Tim Hardaway and Dodo just run the 3-man weave. They're all so skilled. Like, great ball handling, incredible court IQ. Like, it's just... And that's why this has to be a prop-up KP campaign.
Sure.
Because the idea that Luka,
I'm all about it.
The idea that Luka needed to mature and involve these guys more, he involved them in literally the only way they can be involved.
I think KP...
Here's an open shot.
He's a difference maker. He's an absolute difference maker at KP.
He makes a difference.
If you're listening out there.
The center has to get further from the basket,
Boy, he's an incredible asset, and the team that gets him is going to be lucky.
Very fortunate.
Just a real bad fit.
Oh, yeah. He is.
Rick's tough on star players.
He is tough. Yeah, very tough on star players.